Welcome back, everyone. I have a concrete prediction for if Bitcoin will surpass $100,000 in 2023. And it's going to be more helpful for you to understand why Bitcoin will or will not surpass $100,000 so that you can understand and use this information to make your own predictions about Bitcoin as well as other cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about a lot of this in this video, and no information in this video is financial advice. It's just my opinions. For those that are new, I am the DeFi Whale. I've made millions in crypto, and I made this channel to give back to you. And before I jump into exactly why Bitcoin will or will not jump or not jump $100,000 in 2023, I want to cover a few fundamental concepts that everyone should know in order to get a strong understanding why Bitcoin will or will not surpass $100,000. So, as we get into this first fundamental topic, everyone knows I am not huge on technical analysis. It's only a small piece of a very large puzzle, and too many people solely rely on it. However, in the context of this conversation, RSI, or Relative Strength Index, is going to be very helpful in explaining the reasoning of Bitcoin going over or under $100,000. So, what is RSI? RSI, as its core, helps us understand if a cryptocurrency is overbought or oversold, which leads us to believe if it is undervalued or overvalued. Now, the way this works is on one side, if the value is closer to zero, that means the crypto is undervalued because it's oversold. This means the market overcorrected in one direction, or the other on the other side, if it's near 100, that means that it's overbought. This can also be shown as 0 to 1 as a decimal system. And so what you'll see is that the values that are typically seen and generally accepted is if the RSI value is under 30 or under 0.3, depending on the scale, you're going to assume that the cryptocurrency is oversold and undervalued. On the other side of the spectrum, if a cryptocurrency is over 70 RSI, that means that the crypto is overbought territory, meaning it's overvalued. And if it's somewhere in the middle, let's say the price is hovering around a cryptocurrency, its current price is hovering around 50 RSI, that means you should not expect the price to move very much, because that from a pure technical analysis perspective, you're not expecting the price to move that much, because technically it's supposed to be a fair value based on the trading movements. And that means that you can solely rely on economic factors, expected marketing pushes, things like that. You're looking at more macro movements and things that cryptocurrency is doing, whether it's the company behind the cryptocurrency or movements around the cryptocurrency that could be pushing it to one side of the spectrum or the other, ultimately affecting its price. So where can you find RSI and do this research on your own? Not a lot of sites host RSI as a calculated metric, even though it's extremely useful for a lot of traders. I personally use it a lot. And I know a lot of people that make a living off crypto trading RSI, and they calculate RSI on their own. I recently have been using an app that came out, and they do a really great job of showcasing RSI in a widget, so you don't have to miss extremely low RSI values. I have been using this since it came out. It's been extremely useful for me. It's my business to know when a new cryptocurrency has come out. By the way, if you want to know when new cryptocurrencies come out, please follow my Twitter. And I will make sure to tweet when that happens. But it's also my business to know when new apps come out, new tools come out that are useful, and it's part of this channel to let you know when that happens. I'm not going to post a link in this. I'm not getting paid for this. I just found this helpful. So if you want to go search it, you can just search crypto widget in your app store, scroll down and find it. With it being a widget, you can see these RSI values and a whole bunch of other stats directly on your iPhone's home screen, so you'll never miss it. Fun fact, we talk about RSI here and what it means to be in oversold territory and overbought territory. The other day, AVAX was in extremely oversold territory. This is an example of one of the widgets that you can get on your iPhone by using this app. And I noticed the RSI spike down, and using this indication alone, I bought a bunch of AVAX. I also bought a bunch of Trader Joe, and flipped them pretty quickly to make a nice little return. And that's but I think that's part of the reason that I like this app as well, because I've had some successful trades in just a week of using it. So you might have to scroll down, by the way. That's why I'm mentioning this, just because it's a new app. And if it's also not live on Android, I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier. So if you want me to tweet out whenever it goes live on Android, just comment below and let me know if you want me to do that. And if so, I will monitor it and let you know on Twitter. Otherwise, if you have iPhone or iPad, I highly recommend this app. There's a couple free widgets, but it's only $29 to use all the premium features. And I know that most of you are degenerates aping in way more than $29 on random cryptos. And let me tell you something, investing $29 into any kind of education or analytics is going to be a huge source of gains for you. You can search crypto widget, scroll down, download this app. Let's move on. We're going to talk about crypto trading as a competition now that we understand RSI. This is the next fundamental concept that we want to talk about before we get into if Bitcoin is going to be over or under $100,000 by the end of this year. When you think about the stock market, again, we're shifting gears a little bit. When you think about the stock market, you are investing into a company because you believe in its financial performance. And there's a lot of sound reasoning into that because a company is generating profits or will generate profits in the future. Now, when you're investing in something like Bitcoin or any crypto, money is just trading hands. You have to sell your crypto to someone else for more than you bought it for to get a gain. You do not own a company, you own a potential future money medium. So think to yourself before you go ahead and leave this video forever because you don't believe me. Think, why did you click on this video to see if Bitcoin would reach over $100,000 this year? Is it because you're interested in the future success of crypto generally? Or are you considering buying Bitcoin? Or do you own Bitcoin and you want to figure out when you want to sell? And then this video maybe give you some insight into if you're going to sell or not. And most likely it's the latter. 99.99% of people that are investing in crypto and actively trading crypto are in it to make money. And in order to beat everyone, you have to learn more. You have to beat the competition. You have to sell to the other person. And by watching this video, you're off to a really good start. And this is a nice opportunity for me to say that if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscription button so you can continue to stay ahead of this competition. Everyone watching this video is going to be a winner because we don't care about the future of crypto. Again, I'll say it again, we don't care about the future of crypto. We care about making gains, and we're going to have sound reasoning and non-emotional reasoning when we buy and sell cryptos. Subscribe to jump into the community and get ahead. We're going to talk about a lot in these videos in this channel, and we're going to continue posting every single week so that you can stay on top of crypto and get ahead. Now, the next question, and the main question, will Bitcoin surpass $100,000 in 2023? Now that we understand crypto as a competition and we understand RSI, we're going to explain a little bit more fundamental concepts. We're going to go ahead and dive into the true question of why we're all here, and we'll explain those concepts along the way. Now, clearly, one other note, Bitcoin is clearly more volatile, but I want to look at a graph comparing Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 prices today compared to their peaks. The reason I want to look at this graph is because crypto, it's of course global, but most crypto is owned in the US. So looking at what is generally considered the market index for the US economy, the S&P 500, we get a pretty strong proxy of relative comparison. And so what we're looking at here is Bitcoin versus the S&P 500. Prices today compared to their peaks. So today, Bitcoin is 30,500. Since I started this video, it's actually dropped. It's 30,400. And the S&P 500 is nearing 4,500. What I want to zoom in on here is the percentage versus the peaks. Because everyone, that I talk to that's trading crypto says, well, why wouldn't Bitcoin get back to 67,000? right? You'd assume that eventually the market corrects back to the top. But if you look at it, what I think this graph shows is a dent in market sentiment. While the rest of the economy in the US has rebounded and is getting back to 100%, Bitcoin is nowhere near that. And there's other areas of the world that are, hurting more than the US, right, in terms of financial markets. But there's other that are outperforming the US in terms of financial markets. And if you look at the global data, this is a nice average looking at the S&P 500 of where things generally stand, especially because most people that have invested into Bitcoin, again, most of the money happens to be in the US. I'm not trying to overweigh on any one country. It's just a nice proxy, again. So what we're looking at here is market sentiment is dented, and we're looking at 30,500 as the current price. And now we want to think, is this a fair price, right? This could be overbought or this could be oversold. But if you look at the current RSI of Bitcoin, of where it's at today, we're landing right here in this neutral territory. If you remember what we talked about when we're in neutral territory, you want to rely instead on macroeconomic factors. So what we're looking at here is this a fair price? Well, the RSI is a value of 60, just under 60, which means that we should be in a fair neutral territory. So this price that we have here should be about right when you're looking at the technical analysis of it. And so what that really means is that we can rely on other factors, not technical analysis, to predict Bitcoin's future price. So we're going to look at any marketing that Bitcoin's going to be doing, other macroeconomic factors. So let's dive into some of those. And to give credit where credit's due, this is the Crypto Widget Pro app that we talked about earlier, is where we're getting this data from. First thing first, more rate hikes are coming, not just in the US, but across the globe. The percentage probability of another rate hike coming in just a few months is over 80% in the US, and it's even higher in many countries. What this means is, and the reason this is happening, I guess I should say first, is a lot of really strong economic factors that are showcasing resilience of the economy. GDP was up way over expectations, 2% versus 1. This is off the top of my head, it was either 1.2 or 1.4, but either way, the growth rate of 2% year over year on GDP is a huge indicator for the economy going very well. One thing that is worth pointing out, though, is a lot of this growth in the S&P 500 is from big tech companies, and that's driven by this probably over optimism in AI. So there most likely will be a market correction here, and we might see that happen here as well in the short term over the next 2 to 3 months. But right now we're talking about all of 2023, which means we're going to focus on more longer term economic impacts, and we're not going to look at technical analysis because again, the RSI values are showing us that we're relatively at a fair neutral value standpoint. So more rate hikes are coming. This generally is bad news for crypto because while the financial companies might be able to withstand rate hikes coming, that's a dampening effect on consumer discretionary spending. And what that means is extra money that consumers have lying around. Debt is at all-time highs. Consumer debt, credit card debt is at all-time highs, which hurts the ability for consumers to spend on riskier assets like Bitcoin. And let's not forget that this year we had Luna. The past few years we've had Luna, we've had FTX. These companies going down really dents the sentiment for crypto. So what we're looking at when we're looking at 2023 and we're forecasting the rest of the year, Bitcoin not only would have to get back to where it was, it'd have to far surpass that. And the current economic factors, the current landscape of what we're looking at and forecasting for the rest of the year, Bitcoin will, without a doubt, not surpass $100,000 in 2023. In fact, it will not even surpass $50,000 in 2023. But there's good news, you can still make a lot of money in crypto. And so I don't want this to be a negative on crypto, this video to be a negative on crypto. I think what we really want to reference here is that in 2023, it's most likely not going to go past $100,000. One thing that I think is worth mentioning too is at 67,000, the market cap was 1.26 trillion. If you look at the market cap today, we're at 591 billion. So we're less than half, of where we were. Clearly at 45% on just a price standpoint. But that's a lot of market cap. That's a lot of money that would have to funnel into Bitcoin in order just to get it back to normal, to get it to $100,000 for a single Bitcoin. We're looking at a huge jump in market cap. We'd have to get to almost $2 trillion. $2 trillion to reach $100,000. In order to reach $50,000 in it for a single Bitcoin this year is not foreseeable. However, again, you can still make a lot of money in crypto, but in order to do that, you're going to have to invest in lower market cap cryptocurrencies like Solana, Avalanche, and you can go a layer deeper, invest in companies like Trader Joe. I've talked a lot about Avalanche, Trader Joe, and I've talked about Solana on this channel. You can go and check those videos out. I'll drop the links to a few in the description below so you can jump into those. One thing you can look at here is just the cross comparison of something like AVAX to Bitcoin. You can see the market cap for Bitcoin is 603 billion. This is a few days ago. It's obviously dropped since then. Market cap for AVAX is 5 billion. So this means that we're about 120x less market cap on AVAX. But what's interesting is if you look at the daily active users, AVAX is 90,000. Bitcoin is 918,000, right? We're shy of 1 million here. So we're about a 10x daily active users on Bitcoin, but the market cap is 120x AVAX. So it's pretty interesting comparisons. I don't really look at total value locked for a company like Bitcoin, by the way. It's more of a value that's worth looking at DeFi. Again, this is the Crypto Widget Pro app. You can check that out if you have an iPhone. What we're looking at here, though, is the much higher upside potential versus Bitcoin on these kinds of cryptos. I'm not advocating for these generally right now. I think you have to look at the stats continuously to see which crypto that you want to invest in, and you can make trades like I did this past week. Again, I bought and sold Avalanche. I bought and sold Trader Joe within just a few days and made really strong gains from doing that. And this is a quick video on if Bitcoin is going to reach $100,000 and how you can make money in the meantime. While we don't think Bitcoin is going to reach $100,000 this year, there's still a lot of opportunity to make money in crypto. And again, it's a competition crypto, so you should subscribe to this channel so you can always learn more and stay ahead of the competition. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'll leave a link in the bio as well, so you can follow me on Twitter. If not, if you want to search it, it is the DeFi Whale. And this is your friendly DeFi Whale signing off, your fellow crypto millionaire. Goodbye, guppies, and we'll talk to you on the next video.